It's what's done consistently over time, and it doesn't have to be spectacular. It just has to be consistent. That ends up creating extraordinary results.
This podcast encourages and empowers you to create your own unique real story, develop your own unique real statement, and discover your own unique real self. The power is yours. Good night, Thor Conklin. Previously, episode 371 of the 12-Minute Convos podcast, which was just about an average of 2 years, 8 months, 6 days, 1 hour, and 30 minutes ago.
Just keep rocking it on and just be you. Whatever you are, just be you. Find some great people to surround yourself with.
That was then. This is now. Thor, my friend, what part of the world are you in right now?
Atlanta, Georgia.
The same place we were when we first spoke. Wow, it's amazing. I'm so glad to have you on the conversation. What's going on? What's new?
You know, what is new? Actually, this year, every year I choose a difficult physical challenge. And this year, for some reason, I decided to do a bodybuilding show. Although I don't have enough muscle or I've got too much fat still left on the body, I'm going to get up in front of thousands of people in Miami, Florida on the 19th of October and show the world what you can do by just going to the gym 55 minutes a day and eating healthy.
Oh, that's beautiful. Well, when we did speak, you spoke about goals, not so much about getting the goal, but who you become. I think this is a really great way to display that.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, one of the things that really drives me is I want to be a shining example of what's possible.
Well, that's pretty fascinating. Now, for those that are hearing you for the first time, please open up what we spoke about. I think it's remarkable, the steps you found and discovered while riding that Atlanta train in the airport, which is the connecting train thingy, right? But yeah, open up the ABCDEF first, please.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, you know, I was always in this pursuit of figuring out a simple map to follow in order to get what you want in life. And, you know, I had pieces of it, but I was missing other pieces. And I just couldn't figure out what parts I was missing. But I knew I wasn't getting consistent results all the time. And of course, when you keep asking yourself a question, you know, what am I missing? What do I need to fill in? What's that missing piece? It just appeared. And literally, I'm on the train at Atlanta Airport and I look on the wall of the train and there's my map. Who thought it would actually be a map? And if you take the map of the Atlanta Airport, it starts with baggage claim T terminal A, B, C, D, E, and F. And if you start with F, if you want to achieve anything, you've got to figure out where you're going. Get really clear on that destination. And then you need to come up with an efficient and an effective plan. Once you do that, you've got to make a decision. You've got to decide that this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to pursue this with everything that I have. So that's a decision. But a lot of people just stop at that decision point. The next thing is you've really got to commit or see. And commitment is starting to take action, burning the boats, going all in. You know, when I decided this year to do the physical challenge and figure out what you can do in transforming your body in 55 minutes a day or less over a course of a year, you know, I set that out and said, this is what I'm going to do. And then I've been taking pictures along the process. But then I said, you know, I really got to cap this thing off. So how do I commit? Well, I decided to do a professional bodybuilding show and tell the world. Right? It's one thing to say I'm going to do this and not tell anybody. But when you tell 5,000 of your closest friends on Facebook that this is what you're going to do, well, guess what? They hold you accountable. And then every Monday I go on Facebook and I post a brief video of my progress. And one of the things that I've actually learned in this is that failure is part of the process. Become okay. Become comfortable with failure. Everything that you've done in life was as a result of doing it poorly first. When we were born, we could breathe. We could, you know, not do much more than that. And we had to learn everything. We had to learn how to tie our shoes. We had to learn how to ride a bike. We learned how to do math. We needed to learn how to read. But we failed at those things miserably for a long period of time.
Which ties into our beliefs as well, right?
Absolutely. And that's the next stop on the train, right? Is B. And that stands for beliefs. You know, that was one of the things that I was missing. I wasn't understanding how my belief systems, or what I like to call as BS, gets in the way. And if you don't understand what your belief systems are at the core, you could be making all this great progress and all of a sudden something derails and it's like, what just happened? Well, it's those subconscious thoughts very often that's ingrained in us that can derail us.
I think too, so like I just want to interject really
Yeah,
quickly
please.
as well. I think there's another side as well because there's the abundance side, as I've heard individuals express, where they've gotten to the point where their goal has been successful, and beliefs again really comes into focus then, because individuals that are super successful from the perspective of earning the money that comes with the business then are looking and thinking, what's my belief again? Like, what do I do now? So I just wanted to interject. It's really on the two sides when you're getting to the goal and even after you get the goal, beliefs come into play, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. I can't tell you the number of entrepreneurs that I see that are literally burning down their businesses because one, this is just an example of I don't deserve it. I'm
Hmm.
not worthy of that. Money's evil. You can go on and on and on, and they don't understand what's driving it. When you go to your keyboard and you type in the letters THE, what do you expect to show up on the screen? The
Hmm.
word the. But if the programmer simply changed the programming around, you could type in THE and the word elephant comes up.
Hmm.
It's just a program. And that's what happens behind the scene. We have a program. We're like a computer. Our brain acts that way. Unfortunately, some of that programming was done by us consciously, but a lot of it was done unconsciously through people around us that in many cases had our best interest in mind. Our parents, our friends, our peers, and they get ingrained and we don't even know they're there.
Hmm. And then there's the action.
Then
Ooh.
there's the action. That's right. Nothing happens until the action starts. Along with the action or the A stop is action, accountability. Well, actually, that's the T. It's the action and the accountability. T, you got to be tracking this stuff. If
Hmm.
you start taking action and you're not tracking your progress, you're not tracking the results that you're getting, well, they may not be the right actions to be taken. You got to track, you got to measure, and you need to adjust. Constantly checking in, is this action producing the result that I want? And is it still in alignment with where I want to go? The other thing with the T gate is, and if you're ever in the Atlanta Hartsfield Airport, you'll see this. The train pulls into the T terminal and it looks like and it sounds over the loudspeaker, it says baggage claim, but it's baggage claim next. So what ends up happening is people get off the train
Hmm.
and the doors close and the train continues on to its destination, which is baggage claim, where you get to pick up your stuff or the goods or the goal or whatever you've been trying to achieve, and they're standing on the platform. It also stands for time. And this was another one that I was missing. How many people do you know that have started out, they're taking the action, they know where they're going, they've made the decision, they're addressing their belief systems, and then right before they get what they want, they quit, they
Hmm.
stop.
Yes.
And some people call it the shiny penny syndrome. They get distracted. You've got to stay the course. There's a bamboo in Southeast Asia that grows, and the seed is underneath the soil. It is starting to germinate. It's starting to grow, but it takes 7 years in order for that seed or that bamboo sprout to come above ground. But once it's above ground, it can grow up to 7 feet in 30 days.
Hmm.
So it's alive, it's living, it's growing, you just don't see the result. And so often as humans, what do we want? We want action and then we want results when? Now, immediately, without any germination, without any time, without any process. Nature doesn't work that way. The people that get the things that they want to get stay the course. I've been doing this training now for a year on the physical fitness side. I'm 6 months into it.
Hmm.
I don't feel like I'm anywhere close to being ready. My trainer says you're perfectly on track. Wait till you see what happens over the next 4 months.
Yeah, momentum, right? Like your
Momentum, that's
momentum
right.
is going to build focus, intensity over time. Yeah, love
Absolutely.
that. That's
Yep, it
wonderful.
starts to compound on itself. If you improve 1% a day, it doesn't take 100 days to get 100% improvement. It takes 72.
Where can people connect with you, my friend? I know individuals are listening and they're like, "Oh, how can I have this guy help me with my goals?" Right?
Yeah, absolutely. We are very active on social media. Everything is under Thor Conklin, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. The website is thorconklin.com. Anybody that sends me an email, you have a question, I'll respond back to you. It's my life's purpose to be a shining example of what's possible and pass along what I've learned in the last 55 years.
Hmm.
And shorten the learning curve for most. There's no reason to start off at zero. Find out from people that have been there before you. I've been an entrepreneur for the last 21 years, made so many mistakes it's not even funny. Became a profitability consultant because I couldn't figure out how to make a profit in a business, and actually had to close a business that was a very large manufacturing operation. But I made a ton of mistakes. I didn't know what I didn't know.
What's going on with your children, your two daughters?
Oh, one daughter and one son.
Oh, it was one daughter, one son. 21 and
Yep.
18 when we spoke.
Yeah, they're doing great. Son's in college. My daughter's she's got a thriving business where she does virtual assistance work. Great to see them turn into young adults. And what's probably the best part to see is all that stuff you told them when they were kids and they thought you were just full of it. They're actually coming back around and going, Dad, I think actually you might have something here. You might be a little smarter than than I gave you credit for.
That was wonderful. Oh, the Peak Performance podcast, is that live still?
Yeah, absolutely. I was just talking about that today, and we're coming up on 650 episodes.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you. Just like you killing it. You and I are in a very small minority that we've started something, we've continued to grow it, and it just grows and grows and grows. Most people start something 10, 12, 15 episodes, and what do? They stop. They decide to choose. Exactly. Yeah. Try to get something else. It's what's done consistently over time, and it doesn't have to be spectacular. It just has to be consistent. That ends up creating extraordinary results.
Thor, you are absolutely amazing. I want to interject here and say thank you. Thank you for being who you are, being true to your own unique, real self. It's great to be your podcast accountability partner and call you 2 years, 8 months, 6 days, 1 hour and 30 minutes after that first conversation and hear that you are being true to the thing that you set as highest priority in your life, your passion, your values, and of course, everything that goes with it. Again, thank you, my friend. In closing, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
I'm looking forward to you and I celebrating our 1,000th episode. How many are you into it?
Oh, we're just about 2,400.
Oh,
over 2,400.
Well, there you go. You blew past me. All right,
We could still celebrate. We could still.
We'll
celebrate.
Tell you what. I'll be at 1,000. You'll be at 10,000, and we'll celebrate.
Sounds good. Thor, again, great pleasure. A pleasure I treasure. Thor Conklin, thank you for being on what is inspired by 12-minute convos with Angel Jones. This podcast is produced by Pod Edits. Visit podedits.com for professional podcast publishing.